Hello everyone, my name is Syed and I'm so happy to have you all here after the educational program in the Dermoscopy Happy Hour. So I want to take this chance to tell you a little bit about the technology at PhotoFinder and our Medicam 1000S. The Medicam 1000S can provide you with macro and micro images at the same time. It has a zoom of up to 140x, which gives you incredible details of the skin, hair and nail. So if you're interested, please reach out. Are you recording?
Hello, ragazzi. Ragazzi.
Hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
Can you hear me well?
Always.
Perfectly.
It's funny because I was running like a crazy in the car to join you, and I was able to reach the house 10 minutes ago. My flight, as usually, was delayed.
Yeah, but you didn't. But you didn't miss it. You did.
No.
You
I
were able to catch it.
I didn't miss it.
Yeah.
Emilio and I were, again together. And yesterday we had an interesting party, let me tell you.
Hangover?
You don't have to reveal the details. Don't reveal the details.
No. I just now have to share something. I have to share something. Can I share something?
Of course.
We are curious.
I suppose I can share something.
Share something. What happened last night? What happened last night? Look.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
Wow. Where were you?
Where were you?
In Sofia.
Sofia. Nice.
Emilio is coming. Emilio is coming.
No. It's not necessary.
The singer is very nice.
Indeed. Beautiful
Is
voice.
she a singer or a dermatologist?
Yeah.
No, professional.
Professional.
In the meanwhile, hello. Basta.
Okay. You had a nice time.
Yeah. Okay. No, it was nice. It was nice. Hello to Armenia, UK, Romania, Hungary, Italy, Grandalay, Uzbekistan, Brazil.
What's
Romania.
going on? Hai capito che bello. Wonderful, wonderful time.
Fantastic. So Argentina, Poland, Germany, Croatia, Ecuador, Lithuania, Portugal, Sweden, Ukraine. Fantastic. This is fantastic.
Yes, yes.
I would like somebody from Africa and somebody from Far East.
For sure, we have our friend from Nigeria who is always on.
Yeah. Morocco.
Oh, Morocco. There we go.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Okay, guys, what are we talking about today? Sebbi, where are you, Sebbi? Sebbi, hello, Sebbi.
Sebbi.
Ciao, Sebbi, ciao. So, what is the question of the week? How many infections of the skin you know? Less than 10, 10 to 50, more than 50. Well, less than 10, maybe it's too few.
Yeah, too few.
I would say 10 to 50 is the winner, right?
10 to 50.
Yeah, of course,
Yes.
more than 50, maybe it's too much. Yeah. So, and how many dermoscopy is able to cover? Emilio, what do you think?
I will show you in a moment. There is an answer to this question. There is an answer.
Okay. So show us.
Absolutely. So we start with the paper of the week as usually, and now you can guess from which journal the paper of the week is. So try.
The best journal that has ever existed.
Which is?
BPC.
Oh my God, you're fantastic.
Of course.
You're fantastic.
Who could have guessed?
How could you guess it?
I don't know.
Constantinos.
Intuition.
You have a special talent, my friend. The best journal of all eras. And I will show you as soon as Sebastiano allows me to share my screen. I will show you something very nice. Okay.
Yes.
So there we go. So paper of the week. Unrestricted access to knowledge, our motto, which I think that will remain for some reason. I have this impression.
I love it, but the thing is, I don't remember who suggested it. There was someone from the audience.
Yes, we wrote something else. I wrote something that I don't remember, and somebody from the audience corrected this to this version. Unrestricted access to knowledge.
Which is beautiful.
Fantastic. So today we have to honor our friend Enzo because we will speak a lot about him and about a couple of papers among the many that he has published in the field. So the first one that I would like to share with you, and we can discuss it, and maybe also we can make an online decision together with our friends in the audience. So in this very recent editorial, Enzo suggests that it's time to replace the terms entodermoscopy and entomodermoscopy with the term infectious scopy. Of course, this is based on the fact that the word entomo, you know that there are many words in medicine of Greek origin. This is one of them. And the word entomo, here you can see also the letters, the Greek letters. The word entomo, the translation for the word entomo is insect. So if we use the term entomodermoscopy, it's like saying insectoscopy. And of course, as Enzo says, this term, I mean, we don't use dermoscopy only for infections caused by insects, but for infections caused by several microorganisms. And to your question, JP, before, here is the answer. I mean, look how many,
Wow.
how many infectious disorders there are described dermatoscopic patterns. And of course, as you can see, the majority of them are non-parasitic. They are either viral, many are viral, or fungal, or from microbial. I don't know. So I agree, obviously I agree. As a Greek guy, I have to agree that the term is wrong. Of course, the term infectioscopy does not sound very well to my ears.
Infectioscopy.
Infectioscopy is better.
Yeah.
Infectious.
Well, dermoscopy for infections. It's much better.
Dermoscopy of infectious diseases. I like it.
Yeah.
Sebi, do you want to create a very quick poll? So entomoscopy, infectioscopy, infectioscopy.
No, she doesn't.
Sorry about that.
No.
Of course, the poll has to be prepared. So the point is that this terminology matters for me personally. So I was never passionate with the terminology issues. So dermatoscopy or dermoscopy, I mean, whatever, who cares? Should we describe this way or that way? Who cares? I mean,
Microbioscopy.
What?
Someone writes microbioscopy. It's better.
Microbioscopy. Yeah, this is also.
Yeah.
Microbioscopy. Yeah.
That's not bad.
It sounds good.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's not bad. Okay, thank you. Continue being creative and suggest your proposals. By the way, now let's move to another paper again by Enzo and some co-workers. This is a very nice recent review in which they summarized, after doing a systematic search of the literature, they summarized the knowledge available already concerning dermoscopy of infectious disorders. And practically, we will see together 4 figures that are included in this paper. And with these 4 figures, we will remember some very frequent entities that have been described in terms of the dermatoscopic pattern. Starting from this one, so of course leprosy is not frequent in all the parts of the world. In fact, I've seen only once in my life. I don't know about you.
Yeah, maybe twice, but no more.
Twice. Yeah, but in some parts it is frequent. So here we can see 3 images of leprosy. They are considered to be quite representative. So the first one, tuberculoid leprosy. Why do I hear myself twice? With subtle white color and decreased density of hairs and eccrine glands. Then lepromatous leprosy with an orange background color and some small vessels. And again, lepromatous leprosy with a decreased density of hairs. This, of course, is a sign of leprosy, and we know it very well, and sparing of the eccrine gland openings. Also in the next panel, we see leprosy, but not exactly leprosy, but the lepromatous reaction. In the first figure, we can see follicular plaques with perifollicular pigmentation. In the second, again, a type 2 lepromatous reaction, erythema, vascular dilation, and brown scales. And in the last one, histoid leprosy with central structureless areas and peripheral linear branching vessels. So this was the first figure devoted to leprosy. Then the second one with with several infectious disorders. The first, I don't know if you could guess, no, it's not easy. Maybe you could guess the second with the characteristic peripheral scales.
Yeah, that's tinea or what?
Tinea.
Well, okay, no. Another thing, if I tell you that this is on the palms, then
Oh, that's syphilis.
Syphilis. So in the first image, we can see a palmar syphiloderm with orange background color. The second is the characteristic peritrachelion, so these peripheral white scales, looking quite a lot to what we see in pityriasis rosea, of course, from a dermatoscopic point of view, I mean. And in the last image, we can see the so-called condylomata lata, an example of this rare manifestation of syphilis. Then, lupus vulgaris, this is quite well known, orange background color, granulomatous disorder together with linear vessels, and in this case also some milia-like cysts. The image in the middle is again tuberculosis, another type of tuberculosis, verrucosa cutis. And the last one is lichen scrofulosum. Do you like it?
Wow.
So this is
Scrofulosorum.
this scrofulosorum. And then in image G, we have a staphylococcal scale skin syndrome, the so-called SSSS. Then pitted keratolysis of the palms and trichomycosis axillaris in the last image. Let's move to the next one. Again, a panel of 9 photographs. These look more familiar to us, I guess. These are viral infections. And the first one is very, very, very frequent. This is a genital wart. Dermoscopy facilitates significantly the recognition of genital warts. The same also the second, genital warts with these papillary projections that are typical. And the third one are the plain warts in which we see tiny dotted vessels. Maybe in the inset they are better seen because they are tiny, they are not large, so they don't they are not so easy to see over a rather white background. And then, of course, plantar wart with the characteristic hemorrhages, and of course, common warts with dotted vessels, again, hyperkeratotic lesions, and occasionally also papillomatous, the common warts. And another common wart, filiform, with a characteristic elongated linear vessels and hemorrhagic spots again. Of course, molluscum contagiosum, one of the most well-known, with the white clots, white globules in the center. And in the second image is again a molluscum contagiosum. And the last one is an orth nodule with the characteristic necrosis being highlighted by dermoscopy. Here, one very short parenthesis about molluscum. We know that there are 3 main patterns that we see in molluscum. The first one with just a solitary large central white structure. The second, which is the most well-known, in which we have many smaller white clots or globules in the center. And then there is also in molluscum contagiosum, it's very frequent to see something which is very similar to the rosettes. So 4 dots in a square, really, really similar to how the rosettes look like in dermoscopy. And the last panel is this one. Here we can see first a case of sporotrichosis with an orange background erythema and some linear vessels. In the middle, very easy, tinea nigra with the so-called, how do we call them? Spicules. Spicule. You like the term spicule? I only use it for tinea nigra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like it. I mean, spicule. I don't see them, but I trust it's a good term.
You like it, okay? Very
I don't
good.
like it at all.
And the last one, by the way, interesting, a tinea manum, in which we can see that the white scales are characteristically in the palmar furrows. This is a nice sign for tinea manum. Then, of course, tinea corporis, we know it, and we will see some additional cases, I guess. The second image is interesting because this is a tinea incognito, in which we don't have the characteristic peripheral scales, but we have follicular scaling and broken hairs, which is, of course, a sign of fungal infection. And finally, a rare case of chromoblastomycosis, which is a rare deep fungal infection. And then mycetoma, a case of mycetoma. Pityriasis versicolor. Also here there is a nice sign that again the scales are in the skin furrows, and this becomes particularly relevant in skin of color, in which the diagnosis of pityriasis versicolor is not so easy, because in white skin it's usually very, very easy from a clinical point of view. But in skin of color, not so easy. So the presence of scales in the skin furrows is a good sign to diagnose pityriasis versicolor. Finally, folliculitis from Pityrosporum with follicular pus surrounded by an erythematous aloe. So that was it, more or less, from the paper of Enzo. Of course, I will show you something additional that you know pretty well, because I want to show you something very, 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 very recent, very fresh. In one of the previous episodes, I used this image to remind how the pubic lice stents. But now I will show you an effort of two teachers to describe to the audience how pubic lice is. This was just from yesterday. So look at these guys that are trying to show to the audience how the pubic lice
they live a very comfortable life, relaxed.
In my view, this is a quite successful description. The body language is working quite well in this example. This is really from yesterday.
Beautiful.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Okay, so a lot of things. Yeah,
Yes, there is a lot of things. I mean, so my question was right. I mean, so now we can answer to the question. It's more than 50. It's more. Yes. It's definitely more than 50. And dermoscopy is covering something like 70, 75 of these infections. Of course, some of them. We have the poll concerning what is your preferred terminology.
Thank you, Sedi. Thank you, Sedi.
Microbioscopy. This is very nice. I
love microbioscopy.
Germoscopy is also nice. Contagioscopy.
Wow, that's
I will go for microbioscopy.
Microbioscopy.
Can you predict the winner?
Hey, you know, microbioscopy and infectoscopy are very close, very close.
But I also think
but at the end, the
winner. So close.
Yeah. Microbioscopy is the winner. Microbioscopy.
Yeah. And easy to pronounce.
So who was the inventor? Who was the inventor?
Yes, we have to acknowledge the inventor.
Yes,
who was
the inventor? I cannot.
Dan Lopez.
Dan
Lopez? Yeah.
Dan Lopez, yes.
Okay.
Dan
Lopez, it was beautiful. Thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Let me show you a few more cases, so then we can maybe open the discussion and let's say answer the questions. I just wanted to show you a couple of cases, you know, to make a point, to make a point. And the point
Cavies.
is, huh? Yeah,
Cavies.
the point is this. Of course, now you know that we are speaking about infectious diseases, so it's in some way easier. But when we looked at this patient, the diagnosis, the clinical diagnosis was vasculitis. Punto.
Absolutely.
Just because one of our residents had the dermatoscope in his hands, and he was just looking at one of these lesions, then it was clear that this is scabies. So this is an impressive case of vasculitic-like scabies.
Yeah, it's a vasculitic reaction.
Reaction, exactly.
Mhm.
So the point is, really, we have to force ourselves. I mean, I don't have to force anymore myself, because I do it already. But I leave, when I examine a patient, whatever is the reason of the examination, I have my dermatoscope in my hands, and I look at the lesions, even if it's not. Probably it will not be useful. Let me tell you, this patient was biopsied. This one was biopsied with a preliminary clinical diagnosis of psoriasis. In this case, the patient was biopsied because the doctors who were examining this patient didn't have the dermatoscope in their hands. Because if you have your dermatoscope in your hands, you don't make a biopsy. You know what it is.
Norwegian.
Look
Norwegian,
how many mites are here. It's impressive. Let me give you another example. This is quite complicated, because my first impression is impetigo, or a strange blistering disease, whatever. But then, when we used our dermatoscope, we saw specifically this pustule. You see this pustule here. And this this was the reason why we performed a microscopic examination. And this was tinea.
And this must have been a zoophilon, we call it.
Zoophilic from cat, maybe.
Zoophilic.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. That's why there is also this intense inflammatory reaction.
Very aggressive. Exactly.
Yeah.
This is the reason why we did the microscopic examination. Otherwise, we would have performed a biopsy or exadjuvantibus treatment with an antibiotic. Or of course, in this case, it's a little bit easier. But we know today how to perform diagnosis of tinea capitis. What is the sign? The most important sign?
Morse code. Zigzag.
Zigzag. So you see that the terminal hairs in some way are interrupted by this. Let's say the pigmentation is not homogeneous anymore. It's interrupted by more gray areas. Or in a case like this.
Again, also here, there is not only the diagnosis in the previous image, but probably you can predict which is the fungus responsible for this, because I think that this kind of alterations of the hair shaft, so the Morse code sign, is related to microspora, while the hairs, the corkscrew hairs are related to trichophila.
Yes, exactly. So this is Microsporum canis endotrix, and this is a case of corkscrew hairs.
Trichospora.
Trichospora. And of course, I mean, and again, also, I always say to my residents, please invest not only to buy a dermatoscope, but also invest to buy an optical microscope. You have to perform your own microscopic examination for the fungus, because it's very easy and it's much more reliable, because you do the proper sampling of the skin. Okay, so just let me go fast to a final case I want to show you. Here we are. So this is Emilio was showing you a very nice examples of words. This was a word which was not so easy, but of course this was shaved anyhow, and we performed an histopathologic examination. So you see this kind of papillomatous structures with hairpin vessels within the papillomatous structures, and also a little bit of pinpoint hemorrhages like here, here, and here. But of course, we did a shave biopsy to make sure that this is a wart. But you know, I want to show you this final case, which was horrible, because again, this is from a clinical point of view. In my view, this is just a wart. This is just a seborrheic keratosis or a wart. This is the differential diagnosis, but only because we have our dermatoscope in our hands, we decided to perform a biopsy here because of these vessels. These are not compatible with the vessels I expect to find in a wart or in a seborrheic keratosis, and therefore the lesion was biopsied, and this is a polypoid melanoma, quite thick. So it's really nowadays, I mean, we really have to force ourselves to keep it in our hands every time we examine a patient. Bene, bene.
Beautiful.
But
Very nice cases.
I mean, don't make us sad. You showed us a very impossible melanoma. Today it's an infectious day. It's a happy day.
It's an happy day. Yeah, I know. But just to make it stronger, you know.
Yes, absolutely. Fantastic. So I don't know if we have any comments in the chat or questions. Let me ask you something.
Yeah.
Did you ever, to all of you, basically, do you ever consider, take into account the probability which exists theoretically of transmission of the infection via the dermatoscope? So do you take any active measures against it? Because of course we cannot say that this is impossible.
Yes.
But in the daily practice, do you do anything about it?
No, but this is a very important question. In my view, we, of course, the possibility is very limited, but we as doctors, we have to make sure, first of all, not to be the cause of something else. I solved the problem basically with polarized light dermoscopy, because I don't touch anymore my patients with my handheld dermatoscope. I don't touch it. I don't touch the lesion anymore, unless I want to examine very few cases with non-polarized light, and then I apply a little bit of gel and I touch the skin, and then after that I use a little bit of antiseptic solution.
Because I always examine the patient, so I will examine the patient with my dermatoscope, and at the end, each patient I examine, I will take a picture at the end. So for the picture, I will always use alcohol. So for polarized and non-polarized, so I do contact dermoscopy and at the same time sanitize the dermatoscope. So I think that this solves the issue.
So you don't use any kind of protection, any kind of films or membranes or...
I think that alcohol is enough. It covers more than 99%.
But do you remember that at the beginning of COVID, we started to discuss about how to perform dermoscopy in the COVID era, and we were thinking that maybe we should use membranes in our dermatoscopes. And so do you remember those crazy moments?
And this brought the idea to Canfield to create the dermatoscope that you can look from far away so that you don't come very close.
Yeah.
History is imprescindible, says Beth. Of course, that's out of any question that history, especially history, the overall context, not only history, the clinical manifestations, the information, the symptoms, of course, are out of any question. Very, very important. Hand sanitizer works well as contact solution. True. We could use Clinicept even kills spores. Yeah, correct. Anyhow, I asked the question because I also do the same as you. So not much, just using mainly non-contact anyhow, and then using a little bit of antiseptic to clean my dermatoscope, and that's it. And I never experienced in all these years, not even once, this kind of problem. And I also didn't hear from anybody else. So I think that this is, okay, a potential risk, but it's not something that should terrify us in any way.
Agreed. Beautiful. So it's time for what?
It's time for you to show us something.
Yes. I'm going to show you something.
He's in a good mood today because of the
of the drumming yesterday, of the drumming.
Jeffy's favorite topic.
Yes. No. I'm continuing the, let's say, the storytelling around Triasorb and around this new photoprotection, innovative photoprotection mean invented by Aven. And here, these are the very summary of the results of a study they performed in patients, in which they basically, let's say, measured the amount of DNA damage in the cells after sun exposure, so a mimicker of sun exposure, so UV light, which is very close to the sun exposure. So as you can see in yellow, you have the amount of DNA damages that it's produced in the cells of the skin without any protection. And in light blue, you see how much the DNA damage is decreasing by using Triasorb. Okay, and in dark blue, you see how much is decreased the number of DNA damage if you use Triasorb plus Tinosorb, which are the two. Tinosorb is the most famous filter used in many products, in many sunscreens. But if you use the two, Triasorb and Tinosorb, you optimize the protection of the skin from DNA damages from UVB light and UVA light. That's it, what I wanted to share with you.
Fantastic. You are an expert of blue light, in my view.
Yes.
So, Sebastiano, what comes next?
Oh, no sound.
No sound, but cases from Facebook group. Before this, there is a question that maybe we like to answer. Can we distinguish a seborrheic genital wart from genital wart? Nice question.
Yeah, usually yes.
Well, it's not so easy. So the point is that seborrheic keratosis in the genital area are very rare.
Yes, they are, of course, more on the skin side, not
on the skin side,
on the mucosal side.
Yes. But also the warts might be on the skin, not on the mucosa. So there is an overlap, for sure. There is an overlap. They are both keratotic tumors with papillomatous surface overall, with these linear vessels inside each papilla. So there is obviously an overlap. In general, usually genital warts are more papillomatous. So this characteristic architecture of vessels white color, or vessel inside one papilla is more in line of genital warts, and of course, plus the history, the presence of multiple lesions. Obviously, these are helpful signs. But you're right, there is some overlap, and occasionally it might happen that you think it's a genital wart, but it's a seborrheic keratosis. It's not a big problem, however. So, fantastic.
Very good. So, Nisa.
Hello, JP. These are cases from our Facebook dermatoscopy blog that I asked previously. And this is the first case. And the patient is a 68-year-old female and history is 6 months. Clinically, what do you think it is?
Oh,
It's an infectious or tumor?
yeah.
Okay,
What do
squamous
you
cell
prefer?
carcinoma is of course in the game.
Because
Yeah.
because of my bias, in a case like this, I would have thought about a cancer preliminarily.
You mean squamous?
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And there was a bad odor when I look at with the dermatoscope. And here is the dermatoscopy. We see white structureless areas, ulceration, and some white keratotic plaques, and some white circles as well over the surface. And here we see fiber sign due to the ulceration.
Yeah.
And again, lots of white circles, which are in favor of maybe squamous cell carcinoma, right?
Yeah.
And some more sites. And I would like to use wood lamp of DL5 because there was really a very bad odor. And when I use the blue light, as you see here, and here is the video.
Orange color coming out.
You see the red color?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah.
It's like what you see with erythrasma, no?
Yeah.
Or in a
Yeah.
bacterium. Yeah.
Just like that. And I would like to take a culture from the surface and
Yeah.
And Corynebacterium simulans and Corynebacterium amiculatum was cultured over the surface, two species of Corynebacterium. But of course, we take a biopsy. Before biopsy, I would like to ask the audience, what do they think with this lesion? What's their favorite diagnosis here?
It seems that verrucous carcinoma and giant wort are the most voted ones for the moment. Verrucous carcinoma is a good option. Giant wort is also a good option. Cutaneous leishmaniasis, third position. This is also a good option.
Cutis verrucosa very much.
Okay,
tuberculosis, yeah.
so we can see the warts, and most people consider varicose carcinoma here. And yeah, and pathology was squamous cell carcinoma, moderately differentiated one here. So we plastic surgery totally excised it. And again, histopathology was moderately differentiated squamous cell carcinoma in this case. The challenging one, I think.
Yeah. Yeah.
So our first diagnosis was correct, at least.
Yes.
Yeah, clinical diagnosis. And the second case. And the patient is a 6-year-old male, and history is 3 months, and he had a liver transplantation history 6 years ago, and he is under immunosuppression with tacrolimus with mycophenolate mofetil combination. And here is the clinical photo of the patient. What do you think about it with this clinic?
BCC.
Clinically, BCC first. BCC first.
Clinically, it looks like a basal cell carcinoma, yes. And here is dermatoscopy.
The vessels are not really looking like those we find in BCC.
Maybe the right side, there are here some branched vessels.
Differentiated BCCs that, however, so high risk subtypes. We see vessels in the periphery.
Yes, yes.
So
okay, so maybe here.
Yes, vasosquamous.
So,
vasosquamous is also good. Yeah, it's a good option. Yeah.
Because we have some keratotic scale keratin mass in the center, and there are some blood spots in the center, pink and white structureless areas, and some serpentine and branched vessels on the right side. Here, basal squamous carcinoma was also my preferential because of the immunosuppression, and he is a patient of, and the audience also considered the same. And now let's have a look at the histopathology. Any guess? just concentrate on the last picture here.
Yes, there are very large cells with these inclusions. What is this?
Yeah, amastigotes. This is a
Ah,
cutaneous leishmaniasis.
leishmaniasis. Yeah.
Yeah, mimicking a basosquamous carcinoma here. And it was really a surprise for me also. So a challenging case. Normally, the cutaneous leishmaniasis is looking like that. We see some yellow clots, and this is also called teardrops in metaphoric language. There's sometimes orange background because of the granulomatous tissue reaction. That's very common in leishmaniasis, but you can see these teardrops or yellow clots. They are follicular keratotic plaques. And this is my last case to you. This is a patient, an elderly male patient, and this is anterior thigh. And you see a large nodule and some satellites, papillary lesions here. And here is the dermatoscopy again.
Where is the lesion located?
Left anterior thigh.
Okay.
So we have ulceration, maybe a little bit orange background. Again, we have some white circles here and some linear vessels. And here's the close-up and the satellite lesions. We have orange.
Very orange. Very
again,
orange.
Yeah, very orange. So what's your diagnosis here? Which one?
Yeah. Well.
So what do you think?
Let the people vote first.
Yeah.
The winner is sarcoidosis.
Sarcoidosis, but lupus and leishmaniasis are also very, very probable.
Okay, again, a very challenging one. It was lupus vulgaris, tuberculosis, cutaneous tuberculosis. So these entities are really very challenging, actually. To differentiate them, generally, we need histopathologic examination. For example, this is a case of a cutaneous tuberculosis, and these structures are looking like teardrops. There are many follicular plaques here. This is lupus vulgaris. So it's really very challenging. Emilio showed this case. We have some scales following the furrows, and this is a tinea pedis, as you can see. It's very characteristic. And this is the UV light. And this is my last case. I don't ask, just show you. The patient said that I have pruritus in my axilla, and when I look at, I couldn't see anything. Everything looks very normal, right? Just hair. And I would like to use wood light here.
This is trichomycosis,
yeah. So, and here is the dermatoscopy. Here is the microscopy. And here is the gram stain of the trichomycosis, Corynebacterium.
Fantastic.
Trichomycosis, which is not a mycosis.
Yeah, it's not a mycosis.
Treatment?
Bacterial infection with Corynebacterium.
Treatment?
Yeah, treatment.
Yeah, I need topical erythromycin.
Yeah, exactly.
And remove the hair.
Or shaving.
Shaving.
Fantastic, fantastic, Nisa. Yeah. There are a couple of questions and comments. One of them, Dan, who is the inventor of the term microbioscopy, by the way, says that even concerning the question about discriminating seborrheic keratosis from genital warts, he says that even in pathology, it might be very, very challenging. And there is an article here in the chat with that compared histopathologically the one to the other. Dan asks if there is any correlate of these histopathologic features with dermoscopy. I tried to look very quickly, of course, to the article. It says that what favors the diagnosis of condylomas are the characteristic reticulated acanthosis, and this is precisely the histopathologic correspondence of what we said earlier. So it's this reticulated acanthosis that causes this quite symmetric papillomatous surface with papilla, and in each papilla there is a vascular structure. So this is true, a sign favoring the diagnosis of genital warts. And also, of course, the absence of horn cysts histopathologically favored genital warts. Also, dermatoscopically, horn cysts are seen as milia-like cysts. So the absence of milia-like cysts, of course, favors genital warts, while the presence of milia-like cysts would favor seborrheic keratosis. So thank you, Dan, very much for this. Another question is not related to infectious diseases, but maybe we can quickly do it. What about vitiligo? Can we diagnose vitiligo with dermoscopy? Anybody would like to?
Well, wood lamp still remains a good option, better option than dermoscopy in my view.
Yeah.
Sometimes hair have, they are white.
Yeah.
The hair, of course, that are white. And then the only thing we can say is that in dermoscopy we see structureless white color. In contrast, in other entities like lichen sclerosus that might be included in the differential diagnosis, we don't see structureless white, but also we see the follicular plaques. What else? I think that was it. That was it. Okay, fantastic.
Nice.
Okay.
There is a question about treatment of leishmaniosis. Well, glucantim, but this is extremely difficult to find. There are also reports about itraconazole, and also cryotherapy, or also wait and watch.
Also surgery, of course, if it's a solitary
surgery. Yeah, and also wait and watch, wait and watch, because I mean, very often it's going away.
Would you like to dedicate an episode to epidermal nevi in adults and children? Doriana suggests. Thank you, Doriana. We will, of course, consider this. And then I think we can continue with a few more cases. Konstantinos, you have prepared, correct?
Of course. And let's see. So give me 1 second. Here we go. So some cases we will ask from the audience to just write in the chat what they think. And 23-year-old male presents with this new and enlarging lesion. I think that even in clinical, we have our answer. However, dermoscopy is always helpful.
Yes, very nice, very nice.
Diagnosis, folks. Let's see.
For us or for the audience?
First from the audience.
First the audience.
Okay, we have.
Nice, very nice. The answer is already. The answer is already in the chat by many. Many say tinea.
It is, of course, tinea corporis. Easy diagnosis with a dermatoscope. Otherwise, I think an eczema could be in the differential, but dermoscopy saves us time and examinations.
This was called, remember that this was called eczema marginatum, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. So, 36-year-old male, MSM, recently returned from a travel abroad, presents with fever, regional lymphadenopathy, and this lesion on the pubic region. This is the clinical, and this is dermoscopy. Any ideas on what this may be?
What? Sorry?
Any ideas on what this may be? First from the audience.
There are some responses in the chat. Monkeypox.
Tungiasis, syphiloma,
tungiasis.
syphilitic canker. So, yeah, it's the.
Did you say it's painful or not?
It's on pubis, right?
It's on pubis. Well, I think the majority found it correctly. This is monkeypox, and this, I mean, we recently got familiar with this kind of appearance. but it's very characteristic, this erythematous center and this white halo surrounding it.
There was also an answer that I crossed my mind, and there was in the chat the inguinal
lymphogranuloma.
Lymphogranuloma, yeah, very rare entity, but it's included in the differential, of course.
Of course. But here PCR was performed and was positive for monkeypox. 52-year-old woman presented with this new lesion fearing melanoma. Based on clinical.
Based on clinical, he has a dog.
Couldn't agree more. And I love it when you take the picture and you show it to the patient, and the patient is always so surprised, like,
Yeah. Treatment.
Yeah, exactly. Treatment, and there is a second question about treatment. First, how do you remove the?
Yes, exactly.
Tick? So, do you want to say how you do it?
Well, in the past I used cryotherapy because I was completely scared to remove this stuff. Kill him and then remove it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what do you do?
No, I mean, you put a little bit of oil and then you go very trying not to
Making circular.
Yeah, making like this in order not to break the legs. Yeah.
Exactly.
Or Vaseline. Yeah. Vaseline also.
Vaseline, yeah.
We usually use Vaseline. There was
the second question is, do you, especially in Italy, that you have somehow endemic Lyme disease, which for us it's something completely that we have never seen.
Yeah, in Italy we have a lot of Lyme disease.
Yes, that's why I'm asking. So after a tick bite, do you administer antibiotics prophylactically?
No, the guidelines do not say so. You have to wait because the chance is very low. So anyhow, it's you have to wait.
Okay, and here I want to do an intervention because I looked for the paper and unfortunately I couldn't find it. You remember our trip in Sardinia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Who developed Mediterranean spotted fever?
I don't know.
Yeah. Who?
Us.
Really?
Yeah.
And 1 week later he found the tick on his leg.
No, come on.
And he published it.
Really?
Unbelievable.
Yes.
True.
Colleague of us during a vacation in Sardinia.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Very nice.
Next case.
Laura is saying in the chat
male.
Before we proceed, Konstantinos, Laura is saying in the chat that you should unscrew the tick without using oil or Vaseline because the tick can vomit its gastric content if stressed.
I wanted to respond to that. So there was a recent paper showing that it's more efficient to pull it directly.
Directly?
Yeah, without using any oil or Vaseline.
So not to stress it.
So and the vomit is irritant for the skin, is creating a problem related to the irritation.
Exactly.
And in Turkey, we have Crimean Congo hemorrhagic fever. It's very common, especially in the middle parts of Turkey. And it's a very terrible disease, and people can die due to this tick. So we are really very careful while removing the tick.
Okay. How do you remove it?
Just like lower rods.
Without using anything?
No, just a little pancet, and we put some oil and screw it the opposite side of the R.
Yes. So the same that we do. But Laura said that you should not use oil because of
the stress.
But we use oil.
We also use Vaseline, but maybe we do wrong. I don't know. Okay. Remember TBE and vaccination about? Antonella said something, but I don't get it fully. Okay.
What about this case, Costas?
So I think that we already have several responses. This is a 42-year-old male who presents with a disseminated microlobular rash on the trunk and extremities, and diagnosis pityriasis versicolor seems to be very predominant, but unfortunately I clicked on the next.
We saw already the palms. Yeah.
And
Syphilis.
Yeah.
I think that now the response is quite obvious, and Emilia showed a very beautiful case of this as well.
This is also nice.
72-year-old male presents with two new and enlarging lesions on the face, as you can see here. And this is the dermoscopy.
Leishmania.
Leishmania could be.
Yeah.
And actually, this is a very interesting case because this patient had a history of visceral leishmaniasis, which was treated 5 years ago, and developed 5 years later cutaneous leishmaniasis, which was very, very interesting.
Yeah.
There was also a comment about actinomycosis as a possible answer. Just to mention that this location, a little bit lower than the lesion here, is in fact the preferable location of actinomycosis. That's a good idea. And maybe also we should say a word why we said immediately leishmania. Well, we said so because there is an orange background, but also follicular plugging, and then this plugging in the context of granulomatous disorders rather favors leishmania, although as Nisa showed earlier, it might occur also in tuberculosis.
But as Nisa showed, this is the typical presentation of leishmaniasis.
Yeah.
And we also have 2-3 really nice cases from the audience, from Nkensi from Nigeria. And the first two cases have the same diagnosis. So I will show you the first one, which is more challenging. Let's see what people will think this is, and then we'll show the second one that's more indicative, I think. What do people think it is?
There is
Mycetoma.
Yeah, larva migrans.
Larva.
You see, larva migrans.
Lavra, yeah.
Fungal,
Oh.
larva migrans.
People are so good.
Of course they are.
You have
Remember, here we have an audience from all over the world. So for some people, these are things that they see every day.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's the second case, which I think...
Yeah, so the first case was larva migrans.
Yes, and the second one is also larva migrans.
Yeah.
This is way more indicative of larva migrans, even in the clinical setting.
Treatment of larva migrans. Treatment. No, but there's an idea about treatment, please. Albendazole. Antihelmintic.
But let me ask you something. It's only in my mind this thing that they were suggesting, the practical thing. It's ridiculous, but I remember that they suggested it, that if you put occlusion, but if you put something on the skin, then like meat or ham.
It's going away. It's going out.
Am I saying something completely stupid, or is this?
I don't know. I
haven't heard it.
The first
so
time
you have to do like with mice, you know. So you have to attract them by putting some food outside.
A larva trap, mice trap, larva trap.
But I don't know.
Very good. So what's next?
1 second.
Yes.
Last case from Kenzie.
Okay.
Beautiful, I think. Difficult. Let's see what people think this is.
Oh, this is impossible.
Yellow grams.
Let's see if people have
calcinosis, or I don't know.
I would have gone for calcinosis as well, but this was
Actinomyces.
Well, actinomycosis, exactly.
Yeah, because yellow granules.
And final quiz, very important.
So, and sorry, and what is this?
Actinomycosis.
Actinomycosis. Okay.
Actinomycosis. And final quiz, very important. 10 skin oncology experts go on a summer vacation. What is your diagnosis?
This is ridiculous. Let me tell you, these two guys are ridiculous.
They cannot be dermatologists.
Completely ridiculous.
Shame on us. Shame on you.
Who are those two guys?
Shame on you. Come on.
Costantino and Emilio behaving like the worst
as somebody much wiser than me said in the past, do as I say, not as I
do. Exactly that.
Okay.
Fantastic. Very nice case.
Beautiful. But what about our Penelope? Did she provide?
It's coming.
Okay. So
of course it's coming. But before Penelope, I have to show you something, my friends. I have to show you. Of course, Lisa already showed it, but the power of this ultraviolet mode of the new Dermolite 5. Look here, the scabies under the blue light.
Interesting.
It becomes green.
Interesting.
Somehow. And there is an even better image that Nisa sent me, and I will show you now. So this is a classic photograph, a dermatoscopic photograph of scabies. And this is Nisa under which mode?
405 nanometer light.
405 nanometers, yeah. And then with blue light again, you see how futuristic somehow is the image of this nice scabies mite. So it's really nice that with this Dermolite 5 we have practically a good lamp, so easy to use in our hands, and we can use it for everything. And then we will understand soon for which diagnosis it will be particularly meaningful and helpful. Fantastic. So that was it concerning Dermolite, which now brings us to, as you predicted, to our dear Penelope.
Yes. Let's challenge Penelope. Let's challenge Penelope.
You cannot challenge Penelope, my friend. You can only be challenged by Penelope. So, clinical. You want to take a look, or should we go immediately?
Okay. No. Just a moment. Okay, go.
Okay.
Go.
You feel that you are ready? You believe that you are ready?
Yeah, I mean, never ready, but almost. Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
I think that you can do at least 4 out of 6.
Okay. 3 is seborrheic keratosis.
2 is juvenile
xanthogranuloma. Exactly. 4 is rosacea.
granulomatous rosacea.
Yeah.
One. Why don't you say about one?
One is
molluscum.
molluscum.
There's
Yeah.
molluscum, yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Okay.
And
5 and 6.
6 is a word or what? I don't know.
5 is a tinea of something.
Tinea nigra, but show us again the clinical.
Tinea pedis.
Go to clinical.
Clinical.
I cannot go back because if I press the button, it will go forward.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. Va bene.
By the way, so let's see first the answers. As you said, molluscum is the first one, feasible in my view. We see you see here these rosette-like structures.
Yes.
Yeah, for the close.
The central, okay. Juvenile xanthogranuloma, classic. Seborrheic keratosis, of course. Granulomatous rosacea, you were very good to find it. Do you want to say just one word why you immediately said rosacea?
Well,
because there are orange papules. I also
Yes,
consider granulomatous rosacea here.
but mainly for the clinical, let me tell you.
Okay, I agree. The clinical, of course, was very important, but this orange concentration around the follicle is somehow quite indicative of rosacea. The five was the so-called terra firma forme.
Terra firma, clear.
And the audience was way better than us. They all found it. We didn't.
They all found it, which is the easiest
We
dermatologic
forgot the
disease.
clinical
Yes,
photo.
We asked for clinical. He didn't provide.
yes.
Yeah.
Terra firma forme is the easiest dermatologic disease to treat. I mean, it's so nice when you treat it, and then, I mean, the patients go away
So the
happy.
treatment is immediate. You know, you can do an
Immediate.
immediate treatment. Yeah.
Treatment at office.
Very easy, very effective, very fast. Yeah, fantastic. And stuccokeratosis was the last one. And there is also a special gift for Nisa, which is equine hydrochistoma. The dermatoscopic appearance is difficult to distinguish from that of a blue nevus, as it also appears as a homogeneous structureless blue area covering almost the entire lesion. Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Pascal.
Our dear Penelope, once again. Remember to continue sending us your cases, because we will for sure do at least one more episode with cases sent by you. And now it's time to say goodbye.
Time for Kahoot? Really? We go to Kahoot? No. Yeah, we go to Kahoot.
Of course we go to Kahoot.
We go to Kahoot.
Of course we go to Kahoot.
So, is it an easy Kahoot or a difficult Kahoot?
No, it's not an easy Kahoot.
It's not an easy Kahoot.
It's not an easy Kahoot.
Okay.
Okay, there we are. Do you see? Yes.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Waiting for players. I mean,
Waiting
the
for
fact that
players.
the players are not showing up here, it's annoying me a lot.
Yeah, it's a little bit annoying. It's true that it's a little bit annoying, but the important thing is that it works in the end. So,
Yeah.
Blue Nevus, Panos, Zizi, McLovin. But this time we have really very few people appearing, very few names appearing now, but for sure everything will be okay as soon as we start. That's sure, because we did it so many times. So in my view, there is no sense to wait anymore.
Okay.
Let's start in 3, 2, 1, and go. I said go. Okay, good. 13, guys, episode 13. Time is flying. Time is flying.
We are in springtime.
Case number 1.
Okay.
Ulcerated nodule.
Nodule.
Okay, good.
So it must be syphilis.
That's the dermatoscopic image.
Okay.
I leave it there for a few seconds so that you see everything. Okay,
Mhm.
good. And now let's see which is the diagnosis of this lesion. So, BCC, SCC, Merkel CC, or melanoma?
MCC. We have to call Merkel.
MCC, you think so?
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
BCC, SCC, MCC.
How old is the patient?
I told you that it's a difficult quiz. It was a basal cell carcinoma. Now that you know the answer, did you see anything that could help?
No.
No.
Blue gray. There's a gray clot.
Yeah,
Gray
there is
clot.
a blue stuff there. Yeah, blue stuff.
Yeah. That's like
Here.
infiltrative one, right?
Do you see also the clots? Do you see
globules.
the May globules?
Yes, but they were looking like white.
Sorry?
They were looking like white follicles of a squamous cell, at least in my estimation. Anyway,
Anyway,
But the blue globules were, yeah, it's a clue. It's a clue, definitely.
yeah. So in my view, these must be May globules. I mean, it makes sense for me that they correspond to calcifications. The subtype here, however, was nodular BCC.
Oh, really? Looks like an
Okay.
infiltrated one.
Yeah.
I would doubt the histology on this one. On clinical
Well,
random.
I also doubted the histology, but it was a nodular BCC. But in my view, this makes sense because according to the studies, the recent studies that we did, high-risk SCC usually displays more white color than this. High-risk BCCs, a bit more white color than this. Anyhow, that was a BCC with May globules. And this was a tough one, of course. Only 29 people found it. Among them, SEPKK. SEPKK. Fantastic. Which brings us to lesion number 2.
Oh, I like this one.
I think it's very challenging, although clinically it looks... So you think that dermoscopy will reveal everything?
Yes, exactly. It's visible. Based on what I see here, I would say that applying dermoscopy will solve the problem.
Yes, this is
I
dermoscopy.
expect to see.
Wow, 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 wow.
Is it solving the problem?
Wow,
No.
wow, wow.
Not much.
So we must consider many things. We must consider many things.
Okay, so it's not an easy problem solver.
I was expecting to see like
More clear things. Yeah.
Yes.
pictures of the
So
day.
show us the options. Show us the options.
So the options are angioma, BCC, melanoma, seborrheic keratosis.
Okay, I have one. I have mine. Of course, these are
It's really
all,
tough.
I mean, probably one is much less probable, but 3 are definitely the options, the main options. And I will go. No, this was not my option.
So it was again a BCC. Of course, the difficult part here that makes it really challenging is the vascular structures, which are, rather pointing towards keratinization. I mean, they are small, they are rather looking like coiled. Of course, on the other hand, there are blue clots. And as we said many times, blue clots are a very strong feature of basal cell carcinoma. This is the only argument that one could make here to suggest that this is a heavily pigmented BCC.
Wonderful. A little bit
really strange.
It's okay.
Which brings Tanya at the first place, and EK at the second. And now we go to the first question without points. Chateauneuf du Pape is a wine from Bordeaux, Rhone Valley, Burgundy, or Thessaloniki? Also, this question is difficult, I would say.
Thessaloniki, I would say.
It is very difficult.
Yeah.
It is. Jeppy, do you know the answer?
I would say that I will go with Burgundy.
Bordeaux.
It's Rhone Valley. It's Rhone Valley.
I'm always wrong.
But I told you so many times, Burgundy Pinot Noir. Burgundy Pinot Noir. Come on.
It's not fixing in my mind. I know.
So no points here, of course, which brings us to case number 3. This is the clinical. This is dermoscopy. Okay. And this is, of course, a basal cell carcinoma. And now we will vote on which is the subtype of this BCC: superficial, nodular, high risk, which includes all these, and pingus.
We gave the clue prior, I think.
I think so. Yeah. Let's see if it's true.
However,
Fantastic.
pigmented structures are my favorite of all time. Because you have diagnosed.
Konstantinos, your connection is a little bit not working well. So congratulations, I would say. I'm very happy to see this. I'm very happy that we are gradually reaching the point to be able to recognize high-risk basal cell carcinomas. In my view, this is a prototype of how they look like. So vessels, but not very large, not very long, but linear vessels, and then white color, in this case, in the form of white shiny strands. By the way, this was a micronodular BCC,
Yes.
and in micronodular BCC, we also see quite frequently foci of pigmentation, so small clots. Why small clots? Because micronodular histopathologically there are small basaloid nests. Therefore, it's reasonable to see small blue or sometimes even brownish clots dermatoscopically. So that's micronodular basal cell carcinoma. Fantastic. Which brings EK at the first position and Ella in the second and Tanya in the third. And now we go to case number 4. Clinically, dermatoscopically, this is, of course, a melanoma. The question is, as you can guess, if you think that this melanoma is in situ or invasive.
I was expecting for you to ask the depth of invasion.
Come on, don't bias.
Point
Okay.
3.
Yeah.
Point 3 is my answer.
Then you have to explain, of course, this is a micro-invasive, you see, it was not so easy, micro-invasive lentigo maligna. And would you like to say why you said that it must be invasive?
Of course. So occlusion of hair follicles. So
Exactly.
when you see the occlusion, you know that this has reached deeper. And I'm telling you, I'm guessing this is 0.2, 0.3.
Yeah, of course. It's very, very, very
It's
thin.
still very early.
Very thin, very thin. So this practically blotch, which the fact that you don't see anymore the follicular openings in this area is a sign of micro-invasion. Fantastic. Very good. What happened here? EK remains in the first position. Second question without points. Who said the following?
JP.
There is no easy way from the Earth to the stars.
Ah,
Definitely JP.
Seneca, Yuri Gagarin, Elon Musk, or JP?
Yuri
Spera,
Gagarin.
spera ad astra, my friends, always.
There is no easy way from the Earth to the stars. I will go with Yuri Gagarin.
Seneca. Yeah, Yuri
Wow.
Gagarin. Seneca was a philosopher, of course, of ancient Rome. Yuri Gagarin was, by the way, the first person that went in a spacecraft. And of course, he didn't go to the moon. The one that went to the moon was the American one, the Armstrong. Yes. Fantastic. Okay. And
Laura, come on, Laura. You are in third place.
so the point is that here I forgot to remove the points. So people got points for this, although it was not in my intention. But I mean, come on, you get points for philosophic questions. It's not so bad.
It's not so bad, of course. Yeah.
So maybe from next time I should leave the points also to these
It's
questions.
the point.
Yes, well, the wine is difficult and very specific, but leave the philosophical ones.
Last one. Like deja vu. Once again, deja vu.
Go, Laura.
I showed I included in the Kahoot a couple of weeks ago a quite similar image. So you see the dermoscopy here. Of course, this is a melanoma. Of course, you know what I'm going to ask. And
Breast
of
thickness.
course, you will be very good in predicting more or less which is the breast low thickness of this melanoma.
0.5.
Zepi, your answer?
0.6.
Emilio?
0.5.
I go for 0.4.
Fantastic. So, of course, you were very, very, very close, all of you. 0.6 was the correct answer. But, of course, all the people voting from 0.3 to 1, they got points. The ones voting for 0.6 got, of course, more points. The didactic message here, once again, is that this was another nevus-associated melanoma developing at the periphery of a dermal nevus. So, I mean, this is not only in the studies, but also in clinical practice, the most frequent nevus type on which melanoma occasionally develops. And now, podium.
Podium.
Number
No.
three,
EK.
AK.
Number two, rainbow.
Rainbow
Number
pattern.
one is
Diameter girl.
Ella.
Ella.
Bravo, Ella.
Ella.
Fantastic.
Okay, and now one question regarding this. If you excise the intradermal nevus, which patients often ask, do you eliminate the danger of developing a melanoma?
I don't think so. Well, I don't know. I don't think so.
I don't think so as well, but
But
it's like, because, no, but you know, patients always come and, is this dangerous? And you always tell them no, but
of course, the point is that dermal nevi are, I mean, universal. They are not only frequent, they are universal. They are on the skin of every one of us. They are trillions on the earth. So there is no discussion about prophylactic excision of dermal nevi. Of course, we excise dermal nevi usually for cosmetic reasons every day, but that's okay, of course. But prophylactic excision of dermal nevi is out.
My question is more philosophical. It's like, if we excise them, do we decrease the chances of a melanoma developing? Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows? Fantastic.
molto bene, ragazzi.
We have to say something. We have a
Sì,
2
sì.
weeks break.
2 weeks break, yeah, because the problem is that we have not only Easter, Catholic Easter coming next Sunday, but also Orthodox Easter coming the next one, right? And therefore we break for 2 weeks.
So we will meet again. Let's say also the date. We will meet. The next episode of Happy Hour will be on Sunday, the 23rd of April, and of course we have 7 more episodes to go for this season. Yeah.
Very good, ragazzi.
Jeppy, we will miss you so much.
I know. Do you love me, guys?
We love you. We love you.
Thank you. Forza Napoli. Now Napoli is playing against Milan.
Oh, Forza Napoli.
Yeah.
Forza Napoli.
Yes.
So, and a big thank you to all of you from all over the world for being here with us. We will also miss you, but we will see us in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Well, in 3 weeks.
3
from
weeks.
Now. In 3 weeks from now.
And happy Bayram to everyone celebrating.
Yes. Happy Easter to everybody.
Happy Easter to everybody.
Baci.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
coming next Sunday, but
In 2 weeks.